Oh. Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the Crosshair Invitational League. We've got a nice match coming up. I'm Wonder Chef, and today it's gonna be me and One Trick Tony. How you doing?
Doing good. Nice to see everybody. Can't wait to be back in the casting chair for another swell day of Gundam Evolution tournament play. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
me too. We've got a good match today. I feel like it's kind of like, let's say we're like, what? We're like almost halfway through the season-ish, around that area, something like that. It's hard to keep track with how many matches have been played, but we're gonna have two teams that are gonna be right in the middle, I would say, for Fun Gaming, Gundam 7 Stars. So I feel like both of these teams really need to win to kind of like move ahead of the pack. And also I think they're both on win streaks, right?
I believe so. Seven Stars has definitely been on a hot streak recently. For fun, definitely right on their heels right now. I know both teams definitely want to get that little edge up over the other. So it's going to be interesting to see what they bring to the table today.
Yeah, and also I'm always excited to see for whatever reason I feel like the maps in Crosshair are always so weird. We get the most interesting ones. We got a lot of fun picks. That's the way I'm going to put it. We definitely get a lot of hook gaming going on, and I don't mean Mihiru. And we get a lot of the new maps, which is really cool to see. I've been enjoying at least Ironworks.
Oh, that has been definitely an interesting to watch because we didn't get to see it in the GBS. So all these new maps and a different map pool they have all together, it definitely does bring a lot more to the table in terms of like what we could watch, like what the teams are gonna do, and as well as the map bans, how well that plays into what maps and like characters they want to pick as well.
Yeah, the bans, of course, are going to be big. Last time I was on here, we got Harbor and we saw the ban for the Dynamis. So obviously stuff like that's going to be really big. I don't know what we're going to see for the maps today, but yeah, that changes so much. So it's such a cool thing that there's so much flexibility with like what you want for specific roles and all the different maps in Gun Evo, and it's really cool to like have a league as well that has the bans, has the I should say the suit bans above all else.
No,
But
I really do enjoy it because it does definitely bring out the skill of the players more to the table than just their reliance on like say a certain map, the strat, or even like a suit they one trick. Like it really showcases how much talent these players have, and it's great.
yeah, my favorite thing always is seeing like a sort of one trick switch off to something else, and then you're like, wait a minute, they're actually kind of cracked on that. Like, what happened? Why aren't they playing this more competitively? So that's always pretty cool to see. We've also got some pretty good players coming in today. So okay, let's talk about the actual players, right? So for Fun Gaming, we've got like. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna bring up the rosters because I actually just have them right here. So, Gunna 7 Stars, we've got TM Craze, Derpatar, always classically in the chat. We've got Bochi, who's Sakura Chiono. I can't speak. I should be able to say that. TSG, Eri, Tokyo Bunny, Orphan RX 78, and Lucky Star. And then on the other side for Fun Gaming, we've got Dominus, Kyowo, Mr. Hockey, I'm sorry, Gift of Gab, Unruly, Mr. Wave, Shark Beret, Delta Squad. So
Oh,
we got
you
some
might
good
want
gamers
to
here
check
for sure.
for fun roster. That one got updated, so they had
Oh,
to make it
did
quite a
it?
different. Yeah, so they had to make quite a different couple roster changes. So now you'll see Sweet Peanut Butter to the roster for fun,
Ooh,
and Dominus unfortunately has been taken off.
gotcha. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, there's so many. Okay, the roster changes, they definitely trip me up, but also the name changes trip me up consistently. So sorry if I say anybody is the wrong name or don't realize it's somebody. Always trolled.
Yes, there honestly with the way the name changes have been going on lately, I can't keep track anymore. I don't know who's who.
Me neither. And I can't tell when people actually want to change their tags or when they want to, or when they're just like trolling and using a different name. You know what I'm saying? So it's always tough.
Yeah.
But I'm learning as I go what everybody's doing with your names. Like I said, if anybody ever, finds me saying someone's name wrong, tell me in chat. But that's a pretty good change. One thing that I'd have to mention here is I feel like both these teams have really good, as I think most strong teams do, really good Pale Rider players. So I do kind of wonder if we're going to end up seeing some Pale Rider bans throughout the day. The thing is, like, they both kind of want it, but if you're confident in not playing with it as well, maybe you kind of take that gambit.
I would agree there. The Pale Rider definitely would be a solid staple to the team. Both teams, honestly, I don't think they want to ban the suit because just like you said, it's so fundamental to the roster and like maybe even how they play around a certain player individually. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just in terms of things they want to ban, I don't think Pale Rider should be personally, it can be, but I don't know how much they're willing to give up without that suit, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It'd have to be like if any of these teams have like somehow practiced without it or have some sort of alternate strat that they might be running, and they feel like it would throw off the other team even more because it would definitely throw off I think any of these teams.
Okay.
But yeah, looks like we do have the map bans.
Okay. I'll keep it in mind.
All right, what do we got, Tony?
I'm seeing a whole lot of X's here. Canyon-based Flagport Harbor City off the map. Or off the roster today, so definitely no sniper maps. I don't think we're gonna be seeing a Dynamis ban potentially. But it looks like both they want to go for the Mountain R&D fight. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, we've got some pretty well, we've got one of every no, I'm sorry, we don't have one of every type. We've got 2 destruction, 1 domination. So we are probably going to see just based on these maps. Yeah, like you said, I don't expect super long range strategies. I mean, colony trading post is maybe the longest of all of these, or like certain parts on quarry, but still definitely not long enough to probably get rid of something like Dynamis or something big. We're also not playing super close range, right? Like Mountain R&D is the closest, or sorry, I would say the furthest range of the domination maps. Maybe Ironwork is slightly different, but I kind of feel like these teams are based around playing more mid-range in general, and then they're kind of choosing their maps based on that as well.
I think you're right. The other interesting thing to note here is that this is actually the same map pool that 7 Stars took into Satora's 2. So I'm wondering if they just have a little bit of a soft spot for these maps in general, because it's the exact same lineup.
I mean, I do get it, right? These are probably some of the most played maps of just like in general in the league. We see, I mean, maybe Quarry slightly less, but still overall Quarries have just been played competitively so much. And Mountain R&D all the time we see it. Colony Trading Post is just like the favorite, especially here in Crosshair. There's just so much Colony Trading Post every single week, and so it's understandable to kind of go to like the classics here if you're not playing anything like super cool. You don't have any big strategies to shake the opponents up, and so based on that, I also do expect that maybe the bans might go down a little bit further. Like there might be like a target ban on like one specific player that they have. I'm trying to think if there's any big like role or like roles that any of these teams are missing that they could ban through that would kind of like only throw off one team, but I can't really think of too many for suit bans.
I think honestly, if you were for fun right now, you would look at 7 Stars and maybe say, I don't want an Exia or a certain melee suit out there, because the 7 Stars honestly do have a bit of a hand in the melee department. They have Derpatar on the Z2M, they have TM Craze on the Exia, and that even Soccer Giona could flex that suit as well. So it's definitely a valuable suit to ban, or just any melee suit off of the 7 Stars as well. For fun, they're definitely more of a straightforward kind of a guns blazing approach, less melee overall. So I think for them, honestly, if you could potentially, if Mr. Peanut Butter's playing, you know, get out the Mahiru, but there shouldn't be too much that for fun would be missing out if a certain suit does get banned, except for, like you said earlier, the Pale Rider.
Yeah, Pale Rider would be big, but again, like you said, it's so tough to just ban out something that your team is so good with as well. I do like the idea of the melee bans, and it looks like, hey, that's actually going to be one of the first bans is going to be the Zaku 2 melee. You called that perfectly, actually, dead on.
I've been watching them, you know,
Yeah,
following
yeah.
along. I love the league.
My big fear though, oh, and wow, the Pale Rider is getting
Wow,
banned. Okay,
it's
okay.
out for today.
Hey, we talked about both the bans. We're just gonna take these wins for
Yes,
sure.
sir.
But that's gonna be huge. No Pale Rider. I'm excited to see who the Pale players flex to. I think the big fear for the Zaku 2 melee ban for me would be that if the Zaku 2 melee players have kind of, I don't want to say an expertise, but like at least like a pretty good Susan, that's always such a good flex. So there's gonna be, of course, the Exia is kind of unique within its own, but there's enough melee now that just getting rid of one is going to be scary. We'll see, though. It could definitely come into play. Zaku 2 melee has been pretty scary when it kind of pops off, but I think we're ready to start the actual match, so let's get into this first game.
This is a destruction mission.
All right, quarry time it is, and we are now going to see exactly how those bands end up playing things out. We're going to see some flexes. I mean, of course, Pale Rider is going to be the big one. We're going to see, obviously, the opportunity to switch to some other melees from Zakutu Melee, but Pale Rider, I'm curious if we're going to see, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. What do you think we're going to see instead of Pale Riders?
Instead of a Power Rider, it's hard to say. You know, you can go with the Unicorn. It's definitely not going to output as much DPS, nor is, well, you know, if you can line it up and hit a lot of suits, the Unicorn Beam Magnum could potentially put out more damage, but there's just so much reliability in the Hades that you don't really get out of any other ult in the game. So I think you would want to flex your Pale Rider player to just, again, you know, maybe another DPS. Maybe they play Gundam, you know? Maybe they play a Zaku range, and they could just be a little bit more of a flanker today. But
Yeah.
we'll see from today. Or we'll see.
I think either of those makes sense. I think Zakutu range just in general is really useful on this map in particular. So that could be a good one. I'm surprised that we're not seeing any Ashimar on the side of Gundam 7 stars. That's going to be... I feel like Punch just ends up working really, really well here. There's also a lot of little choke points, but they are going to be sticking with... We've got 2 Sazabis on each side. Each side has a Zeta, which is going to be a great choice. We do see the Susan on both sides as well. So I don't know if the Zakutu Melee is going to be all that big of a ban. Dom only on for fun, and 7 stars is going to be using the Hyperion as well. That's an interesting pick.
Yeah, the For Fun team is definitely rocking a little bit more of the core roster. You have your Sazabi, you have your Dom Trooper, and you have your Ashimar. The Ashimar, honestly, might get a decent amount of value with how much shielding they have, just because it doesn't have to worry about piercing the shields. It's going to hold the enemy team at bay.
Yeah, there's actually a good amount of kind of counter shield options here, which is really good to back up Zeta as well. So we're going to see them with their first push in. We're going to see a pretty split, I would say, defense here on the side of For Fun Gaming. I do like that a lot. A majority now are sitting behind the box. We've got, the Barb going to be slamming right there. That's going to be huge. That should be at least, yeah, the Sazabi going down. That's going to be 2 picks on defense. Looks like they just need to clean up here. Derbitar going down as well. And yeah, we're going to have to back up on the side of 7 stars.
Yeah, it was a lot of trading back and forth. Mr. Hockey actually did get a decent amount of damage in when they engaged on the first push, but For Fun managed to counter back with their own Barb and just retaliation of aggression, and it worked out well for them.
Yeah, and we can see again, we're seeing Delta just kind of jump in and just slam, and that's going to be such a tough thing to deal with, especially using double shield. You're going to have to deal with that Barb, and finally it looks like the Barb's going to go down. In the meantime, though, we are going to see most of the rest of the team cleaned up and once again going for the reset. But now, if they do manage to get back and do a really, really fast push, Delta's not going to be back, and Delta's been a huge part of this defense.
Yeah, with how much CC that Barb always offers to the team, not having him there is going to be very hard to keep these shields at bay. But For Fun's actually doing a decent job at it right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Flame Grenade is so good at defense here. We are going to see a pretty successful push in here. Delta did manage to get back, but got taken down. We're going to see Derbitar and Droid, though, also be taken down in return. Currently, yeah, it's just so hard. I feel like the double shield is getting eaten up, especially too. I mean, double melee, being able to use all that extra damage from the Susan as well, just pushing into that choke point. I don't know. I don't know if the double shield is working so far.
Yeah, honestly, with the melee into the shield and the Ashimar, I don't think the shields are really providing much protection for the team.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then, of course, once you finally kind of push in, you just get slammed in the back by a Barb. So it is what it is. But they're going to keep trying. There's still 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. No shifts yet. And just a couple G maneuvers available on the side of For Fun Gaming, or Surf For Fun. We're just going to see a pretty solid defense. It looks like we're trying to see Susan sneak through, maybe try to get a little bit of back cap. 2 picks now, 3, 4 picks, though, from the side of 7 stars. This is going to be the waypoint taken almost for sure.
Yeah, this is the breakthrough that they needed. They had to pop all the ults that they had in their arsenal right now, so it leaves For Fun in the ult advantage when they come to retaliate on the bomb retakes.
Ooh, and looks like we're going to get a pretty quick plant here at B. Definitely with the comp of their team, they're going to want to go for the inside one. They don't have any weird picks with Dynamis or anything like that. Sakurachiono's going to go down. Nobody going to be there to get the res, and that's going to be already a few people kind of trying to retake this. Unruly's in a really great position here, but has to deal with the Susan, and does manage to win the duel just barely by 1 HP.
Yeah, that is a dream you love to see as a Salisbury. Barely making it out by the skin of your teeth. That is the best possible outcome you can have as that 2 running into a melee.
Oh, everybody jumping down, and we're gonna see the ult, and wow, 4 picks altogether. Sakura Chiono moving over to that Barb, actually. That's gonna be pretty different, and that was 2 KOs, 2 kills. Oh my god, I can actually just say kill here. And we have 15 seconds left. I don't think we're gonna be able to get enough of the team back in time. They might just back up, they might just go for the choke point before they get pushed too far back. It looks like that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, just getting your group, getting out of there, just saying, hey, we just need to hold the second bomb is probably the best choice they could do right now, because 7 Stars honestly had a really good push and collapse on that bomb when For Fun tried to like restabilize and take the middle. They just, picked 4 suits out of the fight, and that was the push out altogether. Despite not having as much ult as For Fun has, they're still using what they have pretty successfully.
Yeah, 7 Stars had a really rough start, but they have just got so much momentum now, and it does look like there's not going to be a lot of resources spent to defend the waypoints from the defensive side. They're just going to be sitting around closer to the bombs. Oh, this is such a terrifying choke point to fight Susan in. Susan just hits every single angle here, and especially we've got so much melee on both sides that I don't know. I actually genuinely don't know who wants to fight in here or who doesn't want to fight in here. We do see Sakura Chiono switch back to the Zeta. That's going to be pretty big, but Delta moving in, slamming a ton, but not going to get a single pick, just making sure that everybody's low. They're not going to be able to heal super well, though, so it might just delay them enough.
Yeah, For Fun trying to push in, or 7 Stars trying to push into this, through this choke while being like half health by the Barb is going to be very risky play, because they're not, even if they break past, there's just not enough health to go around, and it's going to stop them and delay them for quite a bit.
Yeah, and the run back is really fast here for defenders. That's going to be a big deal, especially if they're trying to push through and plant on A. But so far, no plants. We are going to see a really nice attempt on the offense, almost getting it down on B, but it looks like, yeah, that was a nice cleanup from Mr. Hockey. Going to be able to make sure that there was no chance. The Susans are so MVP here. Again, I don't even know if this Akazu melee ban quite meant so much. We are going to have a regroup. The waypoint is still taken, and there's a minute 45 left. So I think now it's time to just build your big G maneuver push and use it well.
Yeah, with the way it is right now, For Fun is a little bit on the back foot right now. Droidical is trying to look for some picks. It can't. Ooh, getting countered out by a Bard? No, that's from the For Fun side. I'm sorry. They're just keeping the aggression right now with the melees. Yeah, holding 7 Stars at bay.
It is kind of confusing. They like keep switching. There's been a lot of suit switches here, so I've definitely been mixed up a few times. But oh, look at this! Derpatar and Lucky Star both going to be holding on to this site here on B, and now we might get a chance to plant 2 down. Delta and Shark both go down, but again, oh, Mr. Hockey had a great chance. Unfortunately, got hit in the face with a mace and this plant from Lucky Star. There was too many people running all the way back, so now this is tough. We've got 3 G maneuvers available on the side of For Fun, only the funnels available. About to get the cannon available from the Unicorn as well, but those aren't really big pushing G maneuvers. They've got to make it work, but so many good defensive ones on the other side.
No, you have to get really creative with the Sazabi fin funnels. The best you could do is use it as a distraction tool, so your team can either bypass the push, or like everybody's looking at the Sazabi long enough to where they wipe out 7 Stars.
Well, yeah, I mean, hey, they managed to make it work. That was a full team wipe. I don't even know exactly how they managed to make it work. It looks like we see a lot of the G maneuvers on the side of For Fun. Maybe they kind of got caught out before they had a chance to actually use it. Would have loved to hear their comms in that exact situation. They do still have the Trans Am from the Susan. They're using the funnels. They're using the Screaming Nimbus to try to get this counter push. And oh, this is going to at least, I think, take down 2. Yeah, actually, Cav's Flame is going to take down both Droid and Derpatar. And what's going to go on in exchange? They did use the beam confuse. That's going to be 3 picks altogether from that. That is a huge amount of picks on the offensive side. So we're still holding relatively solid, but yeah. The punch! No, it wasn't able to turn them around. They did the backwards punch to maybe push them a little bit further away. Maybe that wasn't the strat.
No, I think that For Punch came out from For Fun's team. So I think we saw the hype. Yeah, I feel for you right here, Wondership. It's really hard to keep track of what teams are what right now. There's just so many flexes, so many different suit switches going on, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's actually working decently well in terms of the 7 Stars just flexing their suits, and even Derpatar just hitting the Gundam. But yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ashimar was trying, I believe, to stop the Hyperion from ulting in, and I think that's what we saw. But it's a little hard to see, though.
Gotcha. Yeah, that was a confusing angle. That one I should have known though, because Ashamar is the only one that we've only seen it from for fun. So that one I was just a little bit scared because I saw the jump in, I saw the other colored name, and then I saw the punch, and I was like, oh god. But that was a great defensive option. Then altogether, the flex over to the Ashamar from Gab has been doing really well. And now it's time to switch sides. We can see the damage here, a huge amount of damage from Hika, from Shark Beret, both of them getting over 22k, even Droid. Honestly, that's a lot of damage for a Susan.
Yeah, I can see why they definitely stopped them. They held the second push now with so much damage being output. That it was definitely a bit of a struggle for 7 stars to push through, even just past the first relay with the triple shield. But I think they've learned, and that's why they made so many different switches, because they were just adapting to the for fun's playstyle, which I think is it's a really nice testament to how well some of these teams are to adapting on the fly.
Yeah, I also love the fact that it kind of felt to me like they were switching around based on what part of the map they were at, which makes a lot of sense, right? We saw Sakura Shiono switch over to the Barb once they planted at B in this first point, but then switching back over to the Zeta when there was a little bit more range. I think that's really smart. We'll see if that ends up happening this time around. The comps look really similar, and this time we are going to see, oh no, Mr. Hoggy pushing a little bit too early. Didn't get any of those shields, and they didn't get a pick, and so that's going to be already 2 picks for fun, or we're going to see on for fun. They are going to have to regroup.
Ooh. The huge X coming out, knocking Zeta out of the fight for a quick second. It's just a little bit of a deorganized push coming out from for fun right now. That's what caught Unruly and I think Mr. Hockey out so early out of the fight. Now it's going to be a bit of a stagger fest unless they can restabilize very soon.
They're taking so much damage running in, right? Exactly like you said. Oh, but there we go. That's the first big pick. Delta, that's the angle they were taking on defense. They're doing the exact same thing on the offense, but this time they're going to get jumped back on. Unruly's pushing really far in, trying to take the waypoint in the middle of the fight, going to eventually go down, but that is going to build a lot of space. Mr. Hockey coming in. Derbitar's low. Royal Nightingale is super low. We've got some pretty healthy members here for fun. We're also going to get a lot of people jumping back in. Delta is going to be respawned, make it all the way back. That is the waypoint taken. It does look like Lucky Star is going to be the only one here. They might need to run away. If they get picked here, that could be some good momentum, and it will be to push into whatever bomb site they want.
Yeah, it was a decent hold for the relay, but now we're going to see about 3 minutes left on the clock. I think that's like 30 seconds more than what 7 stars had when they were trying to take the bomb plant. And I think it's going to be another B plant as well.
Yeah, we'll see if they can really defend it quite as effectively. The other side, I mean, they just took so much momentum pushing through this particular part of the map. So we are still going to see Sakura Chiono sticking onto the Zeta, which makes a lot of sense. You've got so much G maneuver. You're really close to that beam confuse. We are going to see, wow, 3 picks here. Now, pretty much everybody on 7 stars is low. Yeah, that's going to be 4 going down. This is guaranteed, basically, to be a plant. Gab is going to go down, though, and Delta as well. So there might be a chance to stop this plant. Nice little shield right there, but okay, you're jumping into a lot of enemies. Everybody is, though. This is a huge ball on the bottom floor.
Now, even not having the Barb in play, just having the Hyperion jump in and scare whoever was planting, managed to buy enough time for 7 stars to restabilize and hold that bomb again.
Yeah, and again, time is going to matter so much here, right? So they are just delaying. Already, we've seen 7 stars attack kind of go faster from this point on, I feel. Oh no, Delta tried to get out, hit the jump, and maybe hit the corner of the doorway. I know that feeling a little bit too well. We still do have the waypoint. We've got a lot of G maneuvers available on both sides. I kind of feel like we're going to walk into a bloodbath pretty soon.
Yeah, with the way that they're hanging around this big wall, somebody's bound to fall or make a little misplay, but we're going to potentially see that happen very soon. With just 3 ults getting popped from Fun's side, just looking for any picks that they can, and that might be enough for a plant.
It looks like it. Whoa!
No!
Oh no! I spoke exactly too soon. Gab is still going to try to get that plant very low. Did get a little bit of the armor from the armor gun, and finally we're going to see the plant. But the plant is just about as much time as there is time left in this game, so we might not get another opportunity after this. And Delta going down, that's going to be a good opportunity to push back. They're actually 5 for 5 right now. Ooh, the axe not quite hitting. Unruly just trying to hold on to this doorway, and this is a nice little spread that they've got, but the pushback from defense is so good right now.
Yeah, they're playing the angle. 7 stars definitely doing their best to hold this middle ground, but Unruly's getting the flank from the backside, catching Hyperion unaware, and now it's, like you said before, it is a bloodbath. 4 members out from 7 stars. They have time to restabilize for maybe one more push before they have to call it quits and head to the second bomb.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for them, and Unruly did go down. There are a good amount of 7 stars kind of hanging around upstairs, but they've got to push in quick because they have to immediately basically go for this disarm. And oh, the Lancer's going to come out. It looked like it got at least 1 and maybe it picked up 2, but in the meantime, during this push, we're already getting the explosion. Nobody was able to get on there, and so now we've got a weird stagger on the defense. Let's see what the offensive side chooses to do with this. Zerbathar is going to go down right here for sure.
Yeah, it just needs to be a little bit of a really stabilization from both teams because that fight, despite the bomb being destroyed, it extended for such a long time. Now the bombs are going to be already opening up in 3 seconds, and we're barely getting the relay right now, but Delta Pilot's going to push on regardless.
Just was 75% of the way there, saw an enemy, smelled blood, just jumps away, doesn't even capture it. That's definitely Barb player mentality, you know. I respect it a lot. Oh, Unruly getting absolutely melted, hit by that mace. It looked like, no, what actually did hit Unruly right there? It was the mace, Superdar's mace. Yep.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of a poke coming from the Susano as well, just taking out Unruly faster than they expected, honestly. Again, so hard to get so much use out of the shield nowadays with, you know, all the melee suits in rotation, all like everything that can pierce a shield. It's like you don't even have one altogether.
Yeah, this is pretty scary comp, but whoa, that is a huge kill right there, or a huge set of kills, I should say. But still, they managed to get that plant off while there's enemies around. That was pretty risky. They did pay off for them. They don't, again, need to get all that far. They need to get about 60% of the way through, something like that. Yeah, just slightly above that, and they're already looking really good to do it. 2 members down now for 7 stars. They're gonna get a counter pick, but there's a lot of G maneuvers available. The beam confusion coming out, that's huge. That hit so many people, and that looks like that might shut down their chances. TSG is going to be the last opportunity to get the disarm, but no, going down. Great stuff. The counter beam confuse came in at the very end. You can actually see getting 2 kills, but just too slow.
Yeah, just a little bit out of time in order for like the 7 stars to do anything. For fun, honestly, from the start of the bomb plant to the finish, they were just using their ults one after the other to keep that stagger and that aggression going, and it worked out very well for them.
Yeah, I think that there were like a few different things that that I felt like really worked out here, and I think one of the big ones was that we saw. Actually, I'm really interested to see the damage once we get there, because I feel like the Barb play in particular was really important. Like, we've seen Barb be very, very important on this map for a long time, and we did see, of course, a lot of the Barb nerfs. But yeah, I mean, everything on this map, there's just so much verticality. Just everything works out for that suit here. So I feel like that was kind of for me.
Yeah, I think Delta Pilot honestly did wonders for their team, just managing to slam 2 consistently every time, just providing so much value to the team, despite not having as much damage or as much health as it used to seasons prior.
Yeah, and just being able to hit the correct targets too, right? Like, sometimes it's Barb, you don't need to actually like get a kill. You just need to go in and disrupt and make sure that the shield users can't continue being shield users, I think is the way to put it. You ruin their day, you know, you're a wrench in their cog, or you're a big mace in their engine. Whoa, that's one word. But that was, I think, a really, really good showing of that in particular. And even on the other side, right, we saw Sakura Chiono, I keep saying Sakura Chiono flexing over to the Barb, and that worked as well for their push. And then they went back to the Zeta, and things started working a little bit less. Again, I like that choice based on the ranges, but I don't know. I just felt like that was a Barb map, so it was good stuff altogether. Yeah,
you definitely want to stick to Barb play when you pick Query. Going to the Zeta pick wasn't a bad idea. I actually was getting a decent amount of damage, but Sharkray was just keeping the aggression just so much more with the being confused, just constantly on fire. I think they just did a good job overall for their team. But like we said, the double melee into the double shooter comp, or even the shielding, just wasn't enough for 7 stars to hold down that fort. And that is going to go 2 for fun for the first one. But let's see if they hold it.
Yeah, that was definitely a close match, right? Like that could very easily, if there was just like a few seconds left in that I guess mega charge timer at the very end, like that there was a big beam confusion. We could have seen the disarm. I feel like it was just like not easy for anybody in any particular moment of the match. So I feel like this could be a longer set, or at least a close set, which I'm happy to see. The other thing that I want to talk about while we're waiting for these I guess suit bans is that one big thing about Zeta as well. Oh, okay, looks like we might be getting some subs coming in. But one thing about Zeta as well is that you don't build up any, as far as I know, you don't build up any of your gauge shooting shields. So if you coordinate with your melee well, that you can get a bunch of targets that aren't able to shield your shots, then you get heat faster, and then of course everything just kind of snowballs with you. So I feel like that's also a big deal, that they had the kind of like double melee going in plus the Zeta, as opposed to just Zeta plus one melee. It just changes the entire, I don't know, the snowballiness of the suits.
So yeah, the snowball of Zeta definitely changes the dynamic of how you want to play, especially around either Zeta and or the melee suit that they're playing with. They just work so much in tangent. You know, you disable the shield, you give Zeta's damage, you give him the Bioforce charge, and in turn, he's gonna start melting shields. He's gonna start keeping any shield suits or anybody in general that's gonna look at a barb and trying to want to melt it down. He's gonna be the answer to that, and it's gonna give. In turn, it's a self-feeding mechanism that like gives these suits so much free play and just again snowballing attitude.
Yeah. Also, too, same thing with Susan, because Susan starts building shields, and then Zeta starts building damage, and then the more that they have of each, the more that the other one can build the others. So it's just like, okay, we've got some power coming out of these new suits for sure. I'm glad that Zeta is in the game and good and useful, but not broken. They've been really good on the balance of their releases, I feel.
I would agree, but I do feel like the ult coming from Zeta just is just very impactful because of how big the stun range is on that ult.
Yeah, it definitely, I mean, that's huge, right? That's a game winner. That's a reason. I'd say that's probably the main reason why we see it quite so much, but yeah, that definitely is. It's a tough one, right? It's a tough one. But at least it's not the biggest thing in the world. I mean, there definitely could be. It could be worse, I guess, is the way that I'll put it.
No, I hard agree. I think the only thing that does make it annoying is the, I guess, in turn, it's not even the suit itself. It's the cohesion of the team. If they can coordinate off of a stun that huge, it just provides so much value. So it's not the suit's fault it does such a good job. It's rather the players themselves. That's not to blame this before.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We need all players to get worse, and that'll make it considerably fairer. Okay, just everybody get back down to like silver level, and then that'll bounce the suit. Easy peasy, no big deal.
It sounds like a good time to me.
All right, but I'm excited to see what the subs are going to be here. We should be going to Mountain R&D next, I believe. So we could be seeing. We could be seeing even more melee. This has been a pretty melee heavy set so far, this entire match today, and I feel like that's probably not going to change in Mountain R&D. Okay, so a lot of changes then. You said it's a stream, right? Do I need to repeat that?
No.
Okay.
So we'll have to.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that was a lot then. That was a lot. I know that. Do you remember all of them? Yeah.
I got it. I think so. Sakura Chiona got traded out for Tokyo Bunny. Aerie was traded out for, you said, okay, I'm already lost. Despair? I thought this. Okay, yeah. Despair for Ari, and then on the side of For Fun, we're gonna see Hika get traded out for Sweet Peanut Butter. So I think, like we said before, they want to go for this Mahiru on the For Fun side.
That is cool. That's an interesting choice for sure. But...
Is there any other picks, or is that everything? Okay.
All right, well, Marasai and Pale again. Pale again is a confident pick. I like that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. They really do just said, yeah, we're going to give up the Pale today. We're going to try something else. But if that is from the GSS side, I want to see... I'm just curious if they could have went with a different ban, because maybe they are thinking about maybe they should probably run the Pale, especially on a Mountain R&D. It's so crucial to just putting out a lot of damage, keeping the enemy at bay.
Yeah, I think too, a nice thing about Gundam 7 Stars is that they know that there's actually like multiple good Pale players on the side of For Fun, so they could like technically, even if they don't like get hurt as much by like just losing Pale, they lose some of their flexibility where maybe they could have some like changes, like maybe, I don't know, this is not the case, but like maybe somebody needs to switch to Dom and then somebody else picks up Pale, and then, you know, the whole team just kind of ships around. So I do like that strategy, and we'll see if it pays off this time or if the Marsai change signifies some melee.
This is a domination mission.
Yeah, I think the Marsai pick here is definitely going to it's going to be a good ban, considering how many suits they're not running without the shield, and especially because you get it every 6 seconds, it can, you know, provide maybe a free kill for the team a little bit more often than you're expecting to. But even just hooks and stuff alone, Marsai provides so much damage and a very good ult that sets up for the team.
Yeah. Also, if we do see some really big dependence on, I think, some of the melee here, right? I mean, we did see, of course, Delta just doing super amazing, and you can kind of get caught in a rough situation where you kind of pop out and try to get the engage as Barb on this map, and then suddenly you have to like chase somebody down a hallway because you just barely missed them, and if there's Marsai waiting there, then you are in trouble.
Oh, big time! But that goes for everybody, even including, you know, shield suits. If you don't have it up at the right time, you know, it's just so unfortunate. But you still get caught out by that hook.
Your goal is
You
to
know?
capture the target
True.
waypoints. The
All right,
mission
well,
is
looks like we are going to be seeing the Mihiru, so I'm very excited for that. This can be, depending on where you are and where you're trying to hold here, Mihiru can be so good. If you can hold that high ground on either A or C, you can do an infinite amount of damage, and then in B, it's kind of always good. It's just got those nice angles pretty much underground on any map, so I want to see it pop off. I'm a big fan of the suit, but of course, not the easiest thing in the world.
Oh, you're asking for a pop-off? Soup Peanut Butter's going to do it here for sure. They have made this suit, looks like since the start of the game, they play it so well. The Chrome Movie crowd for sure.
Oh, Delta jumping in, not getting the slam, just going to move back. Really smart. Knowing how to disengage as the melee suits is maybe more important than even knowing how to engage sometimes. And again, Delta just saying, hey, you know what? I'm just going to build space even. As long as I can build my team or give my team a little bit more advantage in this high ground, then I'm just going to pop in, pop out, wait until I get that perfect opportunity. But actually, nobody holding on to the high ground right now. And it looks like both the melees on the side of For Fun are going to be going down, with the cap going to 7 stars initially. They're going to hold this pretty strong so far.
Yeah, it was so much back and forth, give and take coming from both teams for the high ground that they overall just both said we're just going to give it up all together. But 7 stars actually came out on top for holding the point instead.
Yeah, and now this is going to be a tough spot to have me here for. You can see these grenades they're angled really well, but they're sometimes just passing by because having to shoot up to a high ground can be really tough. We are going to see almost a recap there. Aries going to be on the point just to defend it from Delta, make sure that nobody can actually steal that back. There's only going to be 14 seconds left as well. Since you're getting picked back up. We might see a capture here, yeah, but it's only going to be for 10 seconds, only going to be for 8% if anything. And we are actually going to see 7 stars flexing all the way back over to where they want to be for B, which seems really smart to me.
Yeah, they made an early rotation, so it's going to give them a little bit of a leg up on the B side here, but it's kind of starting to look a little bit more in the favor For Fun because they're just starting to get those slow staggers. It's not the immediate team wipe you always want to see, but, you know, one by one, just slowly pushing 7 stars off the base is, you know, still the overall achieved goal you want to see.
Yeah, actually, and this is where exactly Sweet Peanut Butter is going to come into play. We saw actually, I think maybe 3 or 4 of those kills were assisted by Sweet Peanut Butter. So again, you're not always going to get the final hit. In fact, a lot of the time you're not going to as Mihiru, but your damage is so significant. You are an assist monster.
Yeah, you just output so much damage. It just leaves them so low. Somebody comes in like a Barb, it just works so well. Just cleaning up and doing damage, and just your ult charge is just a signal of showing you how much you're actually outputting for the team right now, despite not getting those kills.
Yeah, and then honestly, if you get a good position, you can solo hold for a little bit as a Mahiru with that G maneuver, but we'll see if we even need to get to that. So far, the hold has been so strong, and yeah, look at that, trying to push through against this Mahiru is a nightmare. Finally gets taken down, but once again, if we do see the full push through here from 7 stars, it's not going to be that much percentage that they're going to be able to take, as we're going to see the lead go back to For Fun. I feel like the Mahiru pick really working out.
Yeah, the Mahiru on the B site just provided so much in terms of getting those quick picks and even shutting them out when they tried to push in, as you saw when they were trying to get into the B site through the main door. The Mahiru alone, with the spams of the grenades, literally kept 3 members at bay.
Oh, Mr. Hockey popping the Trans Am and then not really getting too much out of it. We saw like a really nice kind of like pull back from the side of 7 stars. They probably noticed that the Trans Am popped and they wanted to make sure they weren't all going to get team wiped. If they were any closer, that could have been like 4 kills, but instead they're just going to be up on resources altogether. And they're still doing really well here. They're going to capture first. Mr. Hockey's coming back in from the side, but we're not ready, I think, for a full push with 2 members down from For Fun.
Yeah, they have quite amount of time to restabilize and try to take this point back. It's not going to be, you know, the full percentage you want to see, but it's enough to just keep them at, you know, stride, matching the stride of For Fun in point-wise.
Yeah, and the fact that they got so many points on B is, or so much percentage, meant that they had a little bit more flexing room, right? Like they could wait. They didn't have to like push in immediately. They're still keeping things pretty even, and now we're gonna see it still only within about 10%. However, Subinabut is gonna get up on this high ground. That's where it's gonna start to get really scary. We do see a few really low members of 7 stars sitting around the point. Doesn't look like, oh, there's gonna be too much to defend it. Again, just a small percentage, and this small percentage might mean a lot, right? We're getting towards the end of this match and we're both above 60%, still close to about 10% difference, 14% difference, and we're going back to B, which seems to be really good for Fun.
Yeah, we're seeing just a lot of back and forth again from both teams. Neither one giving each other any late room, but the ults are going to start popping out. Actually, if we look on the side of 7 stars, they have an entire team full of ults they can start popping here. It's going to be very hard for Fun to push into altogether.
Yeah, they were all glowing at the same moment. Tokyo Bunny used theirs a little bit before everybody else's, just to build a little bit more space. And that does seem like that does mean that they're going to be capturing, yep, exactly, B before For Fun. They are going to be down 1 member, and Ruli's down as well, though. Delta having to run back for a little bit of healing. Maybe going to be taking a little bit of a flanking route, a little bit higher. That can work out really well for Barb. But this is now potentially the final point. We need to see a take back here from For Fun.
Yeah, there's just a lot of teams staggering that side, just getting hit by the Molly and Delta Pilot right there. Just a very big team cohesion. And these suits are going to start falling one by one. 7 stars just getting met with the aggression of For Fun. And just not being able to hold the point. It's so hard to see.
Yeah, and Shark Berets maybe gonna pick up Gab here. That's actually huge. That's gigantic because they really need to stop this from happening. The land is gonna come out. Wow, shot through it. Gonna take down Gab, but Shark Beret is gonna be able to hold a little bit longer. Delta Pilot running all the way back. This is gonna give time for a lot of members of For Fun to come back. Delta Pilot taking out 2 with the G maneuver, waiting for one more target, saying, "I dare you, come on in." Oh, you can hold this for so freaking long that it's so funny. But the enemies were above them. Try to get the jump. Did manage to get a TSU going down. Looks like they're gonna try to close that one out. There's 8% left, and 3 members are down, respawning from 7 stars. They're going to take down Mr. Hockey, but they've got to get in now to extend this time.
Yeah, they need... Ooh, but I think the punch from Gab's actually going to delay enough to keep him off the point, and that is exactly what happens right there. The huge punch coming out from Gab, not even killing them, but just delaying enough and keeping him off the point so they could win this round out. It was so good to see.
Gab has had some really amazing punches today. Knowing to use those, again, a lot of them have been not to be like, oh, I see 3 people in a row, we're just gonna hit them and flame grenade them and try to get a bunch of kills. It's been all these really smart objective-based punches, and now now that I know what happened in that first game, we know that they've basically prevented 2 challenges to the final objectives at the end of these games/rounds. So really, really good stuff from Gab, and For Fun now is gonna be on match point.
Yeah, 7 stars is gonna have to think of something, or maybe just, you know, find out what is not going so well for them and just kind of work on either covering it up or just trying something else entirely, because they have to win this and then come back and win the second round altogether, or the third round, I should say, to bring this 1-1.
Hey, you know, I asked for the pop-off. Top damage from Sweet Peanut Butter. Amazing stuff. I mean, I will say, pretty fortunate altogether that they got B twice in that game. We've definitely seen some no B games at all, but that is looking really good. And in fact, it looks like TSG might be switching to the Mihiru themselves. We are going to see a lot of interesting switches. The Gun Tank coming out, the Turn A coming out, the Mihiru coming out, all from 7 stars. A very different comp than we saw last round.
Yeah, they really did switch up their options right here and just trying to make something work, see if it's going to stick. But I think Sweet Peanut Butter was definitely the inspiration behind that Mahiru pick. And Delta Pilot actually getting the pick on the Zeta early. That's one flyer out of the sky for 7 stars.
Oh yeah, 2 members down now. For Fun, feels like they've got a lot of momentum. We'll see. 7 stars may have to kind of readapt to their comp here. Delta is going to go down, so that's going to be their good opportunity to push in. But those flames from Gab have just been gigantic, absolutely gigantic. And especially, again, when you're trying to push from the low ground and Mahiru's above you, that can be really, really tough. It does look like finally we're starting to see some picks in here. Sweet Peanut Butter will go down, Shark Ray will go down, but there's still a lot of members, and all they need to do is just continue to delay this for a few more seconds, and they'll guarantee to at least take the majority of this first C point.
Yeah, they need to regroup right now if they want to do that, because Delta Pilot is on them, just trying to find those low health target suits and just get them out of the fight quickly. If you get hit by that barb slam, you're out of the fight. You can't even get revived, so it's just so much time off the clock immediately.
Yeah, it's also just mentally damaging. You're like, oh wow, I wish that didn't happen. But oh, the grab! What the combo? That was a stun from something, it looked like, and then into the grab, or maybe it wasn't a stun, maybe it was just actually a hit, but a nice little combo right there. There's 2 melee to deal with, though. Turn 8 can only grab every once in a while. You got to be careful. That cooldown's probably coming up pretty soon, though, for Ari.
Yeah, it looks like Delta Pilot's just doing their best to keep the enemy distracted, but finally getting picked off by the Gun Tank and the Turn A. I'm starting to think right now they actually flipped their team comp to deal with Delta Pilot and how much they're giving out for the team in terms of, like, not just damage picks and everything overall.
Yeah, I think so far Delta's probably my my MVP of the entire set. Just been super valuable from every single moment. But I mean, there have been some really, really good star moments so far, and it is going to be for Fun again, holding on to point B as it spawns, or I should say, as it opens up. They've got some really great positioning. They're up 6-4 as well.
Yeah, it's another situation again where we're gonna see, ooh, the Barb ult, I think get grabbed by Eri, but he's still managed to get a pick in the process. But again, they're running into the problem they had last round where Peanut Butter's just outputting so much, holding off that front door and finding all these angles that they can't approach.
Look at this angle. You can see they just put up another wall there. It just happens to be a wall of grenades. Literally, they looked in there, they were like, nah, let's go a different direction.
Yeah, we're not doing that again.
Yeah, they're just staring at the grenades. Well, anyway, they should be moving over to C at this point anyway. It's a full take on this B point from For Fun. They just need to get one more little good amount, and they are looking pretty good to do it. We've got some great positioning from 7 stars and 5, almost 6 of their G maneuvers available. It's going to be 6 pretty soon.
Yeah, with the way that Gab is outputting so much potential with these mollies, she just has this ult up consistently, and it's doing so much work for Fun when they want to retake that hill.
Oh,
Delta Pilot is... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, might go down. We are going to see, though, the Super Napalm not really hit the mark that it was supposed to. It looks like it bounced a little bit further, maybe. The Butterfly coming out. Can it get any picks? Nobody's going to be targeting area out of the air, but actually not super a ton of damage. It just looks like maybe there weren't even enough targets in that area, as Unruly's going to go down as well. Delta Pilot probably getting picked here, and this is going to be finally a good first capture, like first solid capture for the side of 7 stars. Now, there's a lot of time. They have to build up from essentially 0 to 100. So For Fun, they can build up the resources. They can take some time because 5 G maneuvers are used from 7 stars in that last fight.
Yeah, 7 stars is going to be a little bit on the back foot right now, and they're going to get stopped by these huge Zeta ult. And like we saw, 2 picks out of the fight early. For Fun needs to back out right now and regroup. They have a lot of time to do that, but they actually left Delta Pilot on their own to get that solo pick on the Eri. I think they were on a bit of a back foot trying to regroup, but with the way that Delta Pilot got a pick, they just said, forget it, we're going to go in, we're going to start trying to see what we can stick.
And it looks like it's working. Droid's going to go down as well. The punch, huge punch, that's going to land on, I believe, 3 different members. And just followed up, of course, by the big G maneuver here coming from Sweet Peanut Butter. That's going to be a ton of damage. It looks like Mr. Hockey's going to be cleaning up as well. This recap is happening, and now we just have to stop the 7 Stars players from trickling in from the side of For Fun, and is doing a great job of it. Oh, the beam confused just to guarantee it. And that is going to be a solid retake and a set win.
Yeah, GG to all players. For Fun, definitely just outputting so much damage, making it so hard for 7 Stars to even find a foothold anywhere to get in. With so many B points, I think Maru literally just got that MVP handed to them, but they still put in so much work. Don't get it twisted.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, this was, again, I have to say, it was a little bit fortunate that there was a decent amount of B, but even when they weren't on B point here, they were doing a great job. It's just they all, when it was B, Sweet Peanut Butter was just annihilating the enemy team, right? That was just an incredible showing. And so I think we might be slightly muted. I'm gonna wait for the end of this little transition because I want to keep talking about Sweet Peanut Butter. An amazing showing from Sweet Peanut Butter. There it is.
Our absolute
that's
goat.
a really cool pick, right? I love the fact that we saw some really unique picks to be able to win this set, and it wasn't like maybe it worked out. It was like, yeah, it just freaking worked out.
It definitely just works. You know, you put Peanut Butter on the Mahiru, he's definitely going to put in work, and it's showing us, you know, maybe what could have 7 Stars have done to retaliate it. Maybe it wasn't the Bard pick that they were trying to counter with the gun tank in the turn A. It was probably the Mahiru you started to maybe need to look for, and they just let it run so rampant, getting so much damage out. And even between the Mahiru and the fire coming from the Ashmar, that's just 7 Stars could not get a foothold on most of these points.
Yeah, and then still to me, as we're closing this out, I just gotta say, I think Delta was still my overall MVP of the entire time. Obviously, it's really fun to watch Mahiru, but Delta just created so many moments for the team, right? Like, even that final push, it was exactly like you were saying, they were like on the back foot, they're like, we gotta regroup, and Delta's like, no, and it just gets a pick, and then gets another pick, and then they push in, and they win the game. But that's how it was on that map, that's how it was on Quarry as well. It was just entirely like these game-winning moments, so I think really good stuff. But I think we're done here. Do you have any other final thoughts on the set before we close out?
You know, just my love of bias for the absolutely goated Bard players. You know, you guys are, despite all the nerfs, you know, you guys are still holding strong. You're doing what you can. You're still proving that despite how bad this suit is right now, it's not the case for you players. You're just absolutely going out there and making a statement, proving so much to your team still that you make a convincing argument, you know, this suit needs to still be in play in a competitive setting.
Yep, that is a very convincing argument to me. But again, congratulations to For Fun, continuing their winning streak. Gundam 7 Stars put up a really good fight as well, though. That was definitely not one-sided. They just had a few things I think they couldn't quite answer, but that is going to be the end of this set. So thank you all so much for playing. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Wonder Chef and One Trick Tony, and we'll see you all next time on the Crosshair Invitational League.
Can't lie in between you and I. There's always love we hide, and it's always with you. It's always with you. It's always with you. It's been a while since I've seen your face. How you been? I've really missed this place. Just so you know you haven't been replaced, 'cause I still think of you now like nothing has changed. And we just can't deny our hearts still beating time. We're both still synchronized, whoa. And we can't let a lie in between you and I. There's always love we hide, but it's always with you. It's always with you. It's always with you. It's always